皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today, guys, I'm going to be talking about something again that is related to Japanese katana swordsmiths, and it's something that been kind of going viral. Yeah, it's something that's been exploding a little bit, I guess, on Twitter again. Yeah, if you guys remember, I kind of introduced the viral tweet that happened about the Maiko. Remember, there was a formal Maiko who exposed that when she was actually a Maiko, she was forced to work a lot, drink a lot of alcohol, even though she was still a teenager, and also sometimes even provide sexual services, being sexually harassed and everything. Yeah, but something kind of related to that too, where basically what happened is that a modern katana swordsmith, probably a rather young person, basically on Twitter said that I will be happy to take students. Yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to teach more people to become katana swordsmith. I'm happy to accept these kind of people, he said on Twitter. And he wrote down the basically the not the status but the situation, or what's the right word to express this, condition, I guess, the person will be working or studying in, if that person wants to train under that sensei or the katana swordsmith, and that became the problem. So basically, just like the Maiko, as I've talked about in one of my videos, they, like the Maiko, they live in a building called the Okiya together with their senpai Maiko and also the landlady, which is called the Okasan, the mother, and they basically work 24/7 almost, yeah. So that kind of environment is very strict, and it became a problem, especially due to the tweet that became viral, that if the Maiko are considered workers, defined as workers by the law, they're violating a lot of laws because they're forced to work a very long time and they don't even receive a salary. But the katana swordsmith is almost, or actually it's even worse, because Maiko, they still have their meals, their clothing and everything paid by the landlady, the Okasan. But the swordsmiths, on the other hand, the katana swordsmith, if they want to become a professional, it takes about 5 to 10 years. So 5 to 10 years you need to train under the katana swordsmith. Yeah. And but the problem is, and you work for about like study, you could say, for about 9 to 10 hours a day, but you don't get paid at all. Yeah. And this became a really big problem. In Japan right now, there's a lot of talk about working environments. I've made a lot of videos talking about the working environments in Japan. We call them the black companies, with all the overtime work and all the harassment and abuse, everything, within the relationship between people. And this is so a lot of people are really sensitive to these problems recently. So a lot of people who are completely unrelated, they have no will to actually become a katana swordsmith someday. So I personally would really want to say that they don't have any right to say anything to katana swordsmith, in the first place. Because for the people who are really interested, just having a real katana swordsmith being so open to accepting new students is already really amazing, I think. But anyways, this became a really big problem. Like, what kind of environment is that? You work and help out the katana swordsmith like 9 for 10 hours, and it takes 5 to 10 years, and you don't get paid at all during that period. Like, okay, like, how is that going to be working? Then there's a lot of people, tweeting about that and making it into a big problem. So in today's podcast, basically, I like to share with you my opinion. So number one, as I always say, as I already said, I really think that the people who are, like, what should I say, not related to this, or not actually willing to become a katana swordsmith, really doesn't have no right to talk about this. They're just here to kind of like join the party almost. They feel they want to feel that they are worth it or important, so they can say their opinions and everything. But most people don't even know about the situations of the world of katana making and everything. So I think that most people don't have the right to say anything about this. Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's okay, of course, to have their opinions. It's that the way they give their opinions towards this katana swordsmith is very violent. It's almost like they're attacking him for saying these things. But to be honest, though, unfortunately, it's normal in the katana swordsmith world, just like it's normal in the Maiko world to work that much or work that hard to become a professional. Yeah. So if they're going to be going up to the katana swordsmith who made this tweet and saying, there's a lot of people saying terrible things to this man, and that I'm saying is definitely inappropriate. Like I'm having your opinions and saying it, what should I say, in a neatly way, that's what should I say, intended for proper communication. That's completely fine. But a lot of people are very violent and just yelling at this man, basically. So that's not a good thing to do, first of all. But at the same time, I do really think that this is a major problem. It is a big problem about, again, 5 to 10 years of training, but not being paid at all and working almost 9-10 hours a day. That's not sustainable. No one in Japan, especially the fact that Japan is getting poorer and poorer every single day, it's gonna be impossible for anyone to live in such a situation. Like, who would be able to do that? Not being paid for a whole day, working for 9-10 hours, and not being paid and still under training. You have to work during midnight, around a really late time in order to make a living. But in the morning you have to wake up and go and help and work and the katana making and everything. That's almost impossible, right? Like in the past when Japan was a little bit more rich, maybe it was possible. But again, as I always say, yen is getting cheaper. The wage has been stagnant. The wage prices have been stagnant for about more than 20 years now in Japan. And just like the Maiko and the katana swordsmith training as well, but the system definitely needs to change if they want to carry on the culture. Because, I met the real katana swordsmith in Kyoto, right? He's not the man who made the tweet, by the way. He's a completely different person. But the swordsmith that I met in Kyoto, the northern area of Kyoto, he was explaining that in just the past 5 to 10 years, we always explain that there are about 300 katana swordsmiths, but recently I have to explain there's only 200. Yeah, within the past 5 to 10 years, there's been about 100 less katana swordsmiths working in Japan. So you can really, really understand that within just 5 to 10 years, there were 100 less people making katana. That means in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be another 100 less. And, just possibly in the next 20 years, by the time I'm around 50 years old, there's going to be no katana swordsmith making katana anymore, using the ancient techniques that's been carried on for more than 1,000 years since the Heian period. No one is going to be able to do it. And this is because of the system, as explained earlier. It's impossible for anyone to train like that, right? Yeah. And this is a problem of money. Yeah, I think I talked about this in a lot of my previous podcasts, but again, Japanese traditional culture, just from the culture in Japan, that money is something that's really dirty, it's vulgar, it's inappropriate to talk about it in the first place, and all these things are obstacles that get in people's way. I talked about once that my no theater sensei sometimes goes on to stages on special rituals or events as a no theater actor, and he doesn't get paid at all for going on some of the stages. And basically he's forced to volunteer as a professional to go on stage, and that's almost that's completely an abusement, Yeah, he's a professional. He trained under the headmasters, of the Ryuha style of the no theater, and now he sometimes goes on stage and doesn't even get paid at all. And if he, for example, asks for, a salary or some kind of a reward for going on stage, the people would be like, oh my gosh, you're a kind of person that wants money, wow, that's something that's really should be looked down upon, That's what? How are we supposed to survive if we can't do that, And so in the end, a lot of people are screaming towards the government to try to do something to protect the traditional culture. But again, that's impossible. The Japan itself is really, really poor right now, and they don't have enough money to use to protect the culture. But they're all just expecting the government to do something for them instead. And they don't do anything by themselves. So not just the katana swordsmith training program, basically, that's the the big problem. But really, a lot of people must seriously consider about trying to create more money, create more business, basically, by what they're doing, with what they're doing, so they can actually care and train the next generation. And not say that, oh, money is something that we shouldn't do, we shouldn't be related to or interact with, or, oh, business, no, our honorable traditional culture is not about business. No, come on, people. The people doing, traditional culture, who are considered the headmasters, the really important people, aren't you guys responsible for carrying on the culture? Are you seriously going to be ending the few hundred years, few thousand years of culture today, in 2023, or like in this 21st century? Are we seriously going to be ending everything? Like, all of our ancestors did everything they can to carry on the culture, and are you sure you're going to let that die now just because of your unneeded pride? I am always really, really frustrated about this, and that's exactly the reason why I'm here, right? Yeah. I am here to try to create as many businesses as possible with using, techniques or skills of Japanese traditional culture, the art of it. Yeah. And a lot of people are probably going to be going against me, especially Japanese people, saying that no, traditional culture is supposed to be something, that's more clean, different from the regular world or stuff like that. But no. If you look back at history, take, for example, Sen no Rikyu, who is considered the father of tea ceremony today. He was originally a merchant. That's the reason why he had all the skills to decide which tea tools are really important, sell them, earn more money, do bigger events, and work under powerful people. Yeah. Obviously, these traditional culture needs to fit into modern society, right? And in order to fit into modern society, each era, each generation in the past few hundred years back, they tried to connect it with business so that people can make a living by doing it. Right now, in Japan, just like the katana swordsmith I was talking about, the Maiko, we are kind of expected to dedicate our time and effort and into all everything that we have into training or into the art of traditional culture, and we are expected to not want any rewards for it. But who is going to be able to do that? That's not sustainable, right? So we need to change. And as I explained before in one of my podcasts, when I talked with the katana swordsmith that's living in Kyoto, Japanese culture is intended to change. We need to change, absolutely. And this is one of the biggest problems: how we understand money, how we see money or business or making money from traditional culture. This idea is definitely hurting it, and we're basically falling off a cliff already. Only around 200 people are making a real katana in Japan today. And the declining rate, the number of people making katana, the declining rate is so rapid, right? Someone has to do something, and that's exactly the reason why I am here, or we are here. Team Let's Ask Shogo. This is exactly what we were talking about. We need to change the norms within the world of traditional culture, yeah, and we need to create a completely different concept for it, for all of the traditional culture to actually survive, and for everyone in the future to really enjoy the traditional culture. So then, everyone, I've already been talking about this in today's podcast, but the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know that there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to travel, study, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such, as we've been talking about today, right? However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future, because we're facing a lot of social problems. We are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. Yeah, including, again, changing these the norms within traditional culture and such. And also it's in whole society too, in the whole Japanese society, there's a lot of common sense that we need to change. And to do this, the nearest goal I have right now is to achieve 2 million subscribers by January 2023 on our main channel. So your likes and comments will help to boost our videos to new viewers have never seen our channel before. It'd be great if you can help us out. Yeah. And to be honest, we are very much struggling to achieve our goal right now of 2 million subscribers. If we go at this pace, we'll definitely not be able to achieve it, but we're not going to be giving up. We're going to be making the best quality content that we've ever made before from now on. And we're going to be learning new things, meeting new people, because we want to make change in Japan. Yeah, 2 million subscribers is just a number, but it's a goal that we need to keep ourselves motivated and keep ourselves moving. So I really hope you can help us out so we can take the second, third, fourth step from here as well. Yeah. Okay then everyone, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Please let me know your opinions in the comments. Bye-bye.